Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sixth episode of Is This a Podcast? And we're back 6 episodes in, the most consistent podcast in the world. And let's see what we have in store for you today. Give it up for Vishnu Ravi Prasad, everybody.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello, we're looking like one Karnataka flag, Jai Karnataka.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing. No, I figured like first episode I was wearing yellow, then second episode also I was wearing yellow. It's like I might as well wear yellow for every episode. So like I think every episode I've worn yellow. Whoever is watching, go check
Yeah,
it out and confirm if I'm wearing yellow. See, marketing.
yeah, Easter egg. It's an Easter egg.
It's right. I think it's the same T-shirt also. If I'm wearing Saturn, go check it out. Leave a comment. Just from
Yeah, it's like
this is
what does that signify? Like, since we're going to talk about movies today, Vishnu wearing a yellow shirt, what does it have
are
to
we
say?
are we talking about Asian movies? No.
Oh God, awesome. Are you done with breakfast, Vishnu? Lunch,
Done with
lunch,
lunch.
whatever.
I'm done with lunch.
Yeah,
You
my hair was acting damn crazy today, dude.
you don't have to
Nice,
fix hair. We're comedians. You don't have to fix your hair. Worst
nicely oiled it and like.
at the jokes.
Anyway, awesome. Welcome everybody once again.
Yeah.
Both of us are huge film buffs, and in fact, I guess it started with movies for us, right? Everything in a certain sense.
In the sense, yeah, maybe.
In the sense that, like, our what do you say, interests towards comedy, or mine especially storytelling, was through cinema and like theater, obviously, but cinema also played a huge role in how I think. So we figured it would be awesome to just talk about the movies that have shaped us, that have influenced us, that we really like, and like, we just want to jack off to Quentin Tarantino today or whatever. But so we
Oh,
figured let's have two film buffs with us today. And first up, we have Harshith Gowda, aka Obscure Tones, aka Obscure Edits from PS University, a design student in our very own college.
yes,
Give it up for him, everybody.
university.
Yeah, it's thank you for having me today.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
like the fact that he told PS University. Like it's a factor. Like, that's why you're
Yeah,
watching. You're not studying.
PS plays a very big role in the type of movies we watch. You
Yeah.
know, before
Right.
coming to PES, you're listening to good music, and after that, you start listening to emo shit. So that's just how life works. Who else do we have, Vishnu?
We have my school friend from ninth standard, 10th standard, and huge film buff as well. I didn't know he used to watch films till like I knew he used to watch films, but I didn't know he used to watch actual films that are streamed on theater. Give it up for Ajay Kumar. He runs a page called Filmophilia. He writes blogs. He edits. He puts up my edits on his channel. Uh, Give it up for Ajay Kumar. Hello, Ajay.
Yeah,
Hello,
and
hello.
whoever's watching, all of their stuff is linked down below. Filmophilia even has a blog, and like
Yeah.
it's linked down below.
Uh,
Go ahead and check it out.
I don't write shit anymore, but
No, but you
thank you
started.
for having.
That's important. You took the first step. Very important.
Yeah. It's going to be very tough for me to talk with Ajay in English because like it's been like 8 years, it's just been Tamil, and like suddenly now I'm put on podcast, we have to communicate in English.
Although talk Tamil, it's fine.
Like I know him for 8 years, but it's going to be very awkward talking to him in English. But
It's a regional thing. BisiBeleBois is global. Talk in Tamil, it's fine. And
global talk Tamil, I like that.
I think this conversation will actually be decent because we're talking.
Yeah. Or else like I'm not seen Ajay end a sentence with a curse, with a swear word, especially while talking to me.
okay. Okay. Where do we start, guys? First up, are you guys done with lunch brunch?
yes,
Okay.
I'm done.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, cool. One thing which I want to start off with is what was the most recent movie that you guys saw? And did you just happen to stumble across it, or did you actively choose it? What was it and how do you feel?
Like okay, first of all, like I'm glad you guys invited Ajay because I get a lot of shit for not watching enough Indian movies. I saw his page and he watches a lot of them. So, like, I'm glad someone is there to cover that area.
I myself don't watch a lot of Indian movies nowadays.
Yeah, guilty. So, like, okay, the most recent movie was I was just very insomniac at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, I was just searching something, and I remember I hadn't watched all of Denis Villeneuve's movies. So, the only one I hadn't watched was Incendies, and my friend was telling me to watch it because it was like crazy. It was a crazy movie. So I'm like, I started it off at 2 a.m. I didn't know what I was getting into. So I started off, it was like a slow drama at first. It was like a biography of a Middle Eastern woman who was living in Canada. So, but then as went on, it got crazier. I mean, the ending was fuck me up. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep.
Didn't help with the insomnia, did it?
Didn't help.
Ajay?
Anyway, fun fact is like one of my favorite directors, and uh, Arrival was the first movie I saw alone in theaters. So, for my birthday, I got a 500 rupee Book My Show gift card, and yeah, sad story if you think I went alone, but I went to Arrival first. That was like somewhere over here only, and I saw Karna Rasayana, both in Rangashankara, both like just alone. And I remember watching Arrival, and like I had heard like it's like the ending is like like you need to pay attention basically. So I was sitting, and right next to me a couple with a kid comes over, and they sit and the kid is crying, and like I was like, oh god. And after the intermission, I just went and sat in the first row. It was like empty basically, the theater. And that's from where I saw the rest of the movie. But yes, go ahead, Ajay, with your answer.
Yeah, first of all, you don't have to feel bad. I watch most of the movies alone in theaters.
Exactly. Yeah. It's movie buffs. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I've done that.
Basically, anything. I watch all sorts of movies, so I have to go alone. Nobody wants to watch the movies that I want to watch. So yeah, the last movie I watched two movies yesterday. So one was this movie called Saint Maud, and then the other one was Quiet Place. So Saint Maud is really fucked up. It's basically an A24 production, so you already know that it's going to be fucked up from there. So yeah, that was one movie, and then Quiet Place too. Yeah, both of them were really good. I
It
agree.
plays
But it's
too.
not out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out. It's
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh,
out on torrent, I guess.
Ada,
Yeah.
full HD download.
Yeah.
okay.
I actually need to watch that. Like, I like Quiet Place.
Yeah, it's decent. Like that, it still has the same problems that the first one had, but it's still good.
Which one do you like better
Not
though?
noisy enough, huh? Yeah.
Which one do you like better though? First or second one?
I think I like the first one better
Yeah,
because it's
first
more
one. Yeah.
contained because it focuses on just that one
Yeah. Exactly.
family,
Yeah.
so all their emotions work.
But
This one expands and goes to other places, so it didn't work that.
the opening of the second one was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. When it focuses on that family,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah. So also talking about watching movies alone in theater. I watched Hereditary alone in theater.
Me too.
So another movie to fuck your mind up. So
Yeah. Recent times, I've not gone, like, since the pandemic, since March 2020, I've not gone to the theater.
yeah.
But I think, yeah, I've also watched a lot of movies alone. I watched Toy Story 4 alone. Right? It's like I went for a weekday, I think it released in July or something of 2019. Went on a weekday matinee show. Like, no one's in the theater, like, 4 people are there, 4 individual people. And like, I've watched Toy Story from like whatever I've been 3, 4. Like, I've watched everything at least like 5, 6 times. 1, 2, 3, I've watched. Like, oh shit, it's so emotional that Toy Story 4 was. Like, you fucking don't cry in a theater alone sitting in a matinee show. So yeah, watching movies alone, it's like, yeah, it's like a common thing, I guess. A lot of people do it. Yeah.
I stopped doing it because Indian theater censor movies. So, but like after a while, it's not, you know,
Yeah.
like it doesn't make sense for me to spend that much money if I'm not getting the real deal. No, that's what I felt. But yeah,
What did you watch?
what was the most recent movie, Vishnu?
Okay, I'll tell. Okay, so I
Hmm?
never watched a lot of movies when I was young. So I'm like not. I'm not a huge fan of Harry Potter. First off, because like I watched only like few of them, and like not. I didn't really like them when I watched it when I was young. In eighth or seventh something, they took us to Harry Potter as well from school. They took us to Deathly Hallows Part 2. Like I've never watched it, but then I was bored a couple of days back. I was like, let me do Harry Potter marathon. I'm in between of the Harry Potter marathon at the moment. I'm liking it now. It's like I understand why people there are fans of Harry Potter.
It's different where like when you grow up with the movies, like
Yeah,
we
I
were the
guess.
same age when the movies were releasing, so
Yeah, I guess.
kind of
Yeah, I think when you and Emma Watson were the same age, it's nice. Now it doesn't make a lot of sense. You're like, oh no, okay. No, it's I think it still holds up good, like few parts. Like Azkaban was beautiful. I really liked it. It was like, oh wow. Like after first two was like pretty kiddish. Like I was like, okay, it's just magic. But then Azkaban,
Yeah.
I think
Azkaban.
it's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, so I guess that's why it's so good. But like I really liked Azkaban. Very good. The story is good. Filmmaking, the whole feels like a movie. Doesn't feel like a kids movie. Feels like a proper grown adult movie.
Azkaban is like the thematic shift in the cinematic universe, at least.
Yeah, that's when it started becoming dark.
Both like in terms of light exposure as well
Yeah,
as story.
both.
you
Awesome.
never see daylight after the fifth film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even in
I'm in the
Goblet
fifth
of Fire,
film.
right?
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire takes place in that entire maze thing.
Yeah.
There's no light at all. It's just a
Goblet of
dark
Fire was
movie.
good. It was good. Need to watch Order of Phoenix.
That was the first Harry Potter movie which had a kiss, so I remember that very vividly.
Oh yeah, the child.
Yeah. Awesome. The most recent movie I saw was Perks of Being a Wallflower. I saw that day before yesterday, I think. And like, to be honest, I haven't been watching movies as much as I was during PUC and 10th and all of that. But I don't know. For me, it's like the pressure to watch a movie in its entirety and like absorb everything. So like I hold myself to not good standards when I watch it. Like I want the entire thing and analyze everything. So it's hard for me to just let it play and watch. And that like has stopped me from watching movies as much as I did back in the day. But yeah, I saw Perks of Being a Wallflower, really liked it. It was so good. And I mean, acting wise, Logan Lerman, is that his name? That's his name, right? Yeah, amazing stuff. And especially like, again, like if I had seen it probably in my younger days, it would have been more influential, I guess. But still now, like it like took me back to those days, and like it was amazing. And like now that like I started speaking of like back, I was watching movies back, or like, there was something that had happened in my earlier days. Is the question is which movie changed movies for you, or like do you remember the first movie which like got you into films heavily and started the whole thing? I'll answer first so that you get to know what I'm talking about. So for me, earlier I would just watch movies, obviously, and sixth, seventh was like when uh, I started watching English movies on Star Movies, Sony Pix, and HBO, Warner Brothers, because like I had we had a set-top box and like all English channels were there, and like just scroll through Comedy. Now I don't know how many movies I've seen from that channel, but like just watching movies on that was like, okay, I'm watching stuff. But and like obviously I saw Avengers, Iron Man, whatever. But like yeah, movies, the visual medium was very like entertaining to me. But the movie which changed movies for me was Fight Club. So it was the summer holidays after ninth grade, and I had just learned how to torrent movies, which like, and later, even in like right then, 10th, when Bombay Velvet released, when I was in 10th then, and like Anurag Kashyap was all about, no, don't, pirate movies. I have the biggest collection of DVDs in the world. And like, it is true. And like, I was so guilty back then for doing it. And like I even went and talked with my friend that like I feel guilty for torrenting. If I torrent English movies, like I don't feel that guilty. But Indian movies, when I do, I feel damn guilty. And then he told it's the Robin Hood effect. When you steal from the rich, you don't get that guilty. But when you steal from the poor, it makes you guilty. But anyways, so Fight Club, I saw that, and oh god, I saw that on my mobile actually, and I was in my what do you say? I was in my friend's house and I had his Wi-Fi and immediately torrented the whole 1080p movie. It was 3.2 gigs. I downloaded the entire thing and I saw it in my entire, like, I saw it on the phone. And then, the whole reaching the end, and at the end, like the Pixies, Where Is My Mind playing, and like the whole experience after that. And then looking back at things, oh, there are 4 places where Tyler Durden flashes on the screen. Oh, there's this, at the end of the movie, there's this dick pic which comes on if you pause at the right time. It's like all of these little Easter eggs and like the whole style of narration. And I had never seen something like that before. And, the soap scene, obviously, that. And it was just like mind-blowing to me, like the whole thing. And after that, like that's why still David Fincher is my favorite director even today. And that movie started me taking movies more seriously. I was doing stage stuff back then as well, but what do you say? That movie changed movies. And like I saw Lucia again, and after Lucia, it's on my YouTube channel, guys. I've interviewed Pawan Kumar for my Kannada project. So I talked with him. I watched U-Turn premiere. So 10th,
Oh, yeah.
9th holidays ending, and the entirety of 10th was like when I got heavily into movies. I was influenced so much. Ulidavaru Kandante, Lucia, and that and Fight Club 7. 7, I remember watching with my younger brother. Okay, it was in 10th. If I was in 10th, he was in 4th. So it was like we were both eating lunch, and the brothel scene happens, and then he made me wear that the sin where he is supposed to wear the knife costume. And okay, you don't know what I'm talking about, really?
Hey, Dad, no. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah, so that scene happened, and you know what I'm talking about. He made me wear it. You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, that scene, I was eating food, and I saw my brother, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, Naitu, what happened?" And, oh God, so yeah. 10th was like when I got hugely into movies, and that continued for first PU, second PU a lot, in fact. And my routine in the holidays after 10th grade was watching 2 movies every day almost. I was not into television series yet, but yeah, this is where it started for me. So what are your experiences?
And before we continue, Aishak has a photo. He told U-Turn premiere. He went, he watched it with Shraddha Srinath. He has a photo with. It's a proud moment to be. It's a proud. I feel proud to be Aishak's friend because of that photo. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, the progress that she's made, obviously, in cinema is amazing stuff. And to be at her first movie was looking back, it's crazy stuff.
Ajay Harshith.
Okay, so I'll go. So I think for me it's the same time. I think it was in 10th standard. I think that's the time Interstellar got released.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, it's a very cliched answer, but Yeah, I used to watch a lot of movies back then also, but Interstellar changed everything because I watched it in the theaters, and Nolan gets a lot of shit right nowadays for his sound design, the music overpowering the dialogues and all that. But I didn't give a fuck at that time because the music was so good. I didn't care about the dialogues also. I didn't care about what was going on the screen. The visuals were great, and yeah, the thing is, you can watch something like Interstellar only in the theaters. You're not gonna be an astronaut any day. I don't think I'm gonna travel through a wormhole or anything. So the only way that I can experience something like that is through a movie, and to be able to experience that with Hans Zimmer's score was something really life changing. That, and then another movie that's a complete contrast to that is 12 Angry Men. So these 12 Angry Men, because it takes place in one place, and then to keep you engaged for 1.5 hours with just dialogue between the 12 people is something I never thought anyone can do, because how can a movie take place in one place, you know? And seeing that happen was also magical, just as magical as traveling to a wormhole. So
Four great movies. Interstellar, I think, were you there? I think I also watched Interstellar in theater. Did we all go, Ajay, or were you not there in that group?
well, I went
And yeah,
as
no,
usual solo.
no, because in school there was different, like, I think on the Friday where Interstellar released, 15 of us went. I have no clue of what happened in that movie. I till date I've not rewatched it. I generally don't like space movies, so I've not uh, watched that movie like after that. I don't know what. I just remember the last scene where the books fall from like the shelf, whatever, where he's loading. So yeah,
Yeah, that movie, like after we watched it, I watched that movie thrice in the theaters. So we remembered. I still remember all the dialogues, and for exactly 2 years, the No Time for Caution theme music was my ringtone for 2 years. And then Interstellar posters were my wallpapers for 2 years. That's how I
Yeah,
was.
I
And
understand.
now when I watch it, I understand all the flaws, and even as a movie, I don't love it as much as I did, but that's when I started getting into movies because of that movie.
So
And if you think of like Fight Club and like my age at that time, like it makes sense for me to like it because
Yeah,
that's just how the movie is, right? You know, like God doesn't love you. You know, we are God's, if we are God's unwanted children, so be it. Like, oh yes, I'm like, give me that anger because that's the age I was into, right? So it makes sense, dude. Like me after watching Dark Knight, 1 year Joker wallpapers only, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's just how things are. Like all mono acting competitions. Oh, you want to see? You want to? I
so
got these cards. That's just life. And awesome. Go ahead, Harshit.
I had a different experience with Interstellar though. Like I was 14 when I watched it, so in the theater. So I didn't understand it, of course, but I liked it more the more I watched it recently. So like I didn't like even that ending and all. Like yeah, it's a little convoluted with Anne Hathaway's the love monologue and all, but
That's
still
stupid as well.
yeah, yeah, it's stupid now, but yeah, but when it released, it was really impactful for a lot of us. And yeah, for me also, like any Christopher Nolan movies, like that's what changed my view into films. Like of course, Inception, Dark Knight, those were the movies. But before that, also uh, like even when I was younger, I was watching. That's when I got into Harry Potter and the Home Alone movies, especially. That's where I started watching movies, English movies. But then I guess it was in eighth grade, like when I started torrenting movies. So that yeah, that's where like everyone our age group, we found Fincher, Nolan. That's who we all found. I guess those are the two main ones that has influenced everyone. So yeah.
It's really unfortunate that like all the one thing common with all of us Indian film buffs is that like we start with torrenting stuff, which is not
Yeah.
right in a way, because especially like if you are an aspiring filmmaker or whatever, and then you see that one day I'll make films and people will torrent that. Like I used to think like that, like, oh, I used to be so damn guilty. But yeah, I mean, it's unfair how unaccessible movies are to us. Like at least now with Prime and Netflix and stuff, it's so much more reasonable and things are better off. But back then, like, it was horrible. Like nowhere could you see good movies. And
But even with
like,
Prime and Netflix, I used to if you want to watch a Danish movie or some
yeah,
Korean
yeah,
movie, you still have to go on torrent something and watch.
I still the Incend is what I watched. I torrented it. It was on Prime, but I still torrented it yesterday because like the subtitles were very off. It was not
Yeah.
making sense, the subtitles. So I
There's
just
this
torrented it.
Korean movie called The Wailing, and I wanted to watch it in Korean, but it's there on Prime. And when I started watching it, it was dubbed in English, so I didn't want to watch that shit at all. So I had to torrent it again. So yeah,
like I remember buying a separation DVD in Landmark. So I wanted to watch that real bad, and like, so I felt so proud like that I found this CD and like I could play it in my house. And now like no one has CD players anyway. I put that on my PlayStation 2 and watched the entire thing. Like it was like a revelating. So call back to first episode that I could play DVDs on my PlayStation. I didn't know that, but yeah, I found that. And like, yeah, dude, it's irritating. And in Bangalore times, like when I was in sixth, seventh, and like, okay, obviously watching movies for fun, Home Alone, that was always a part of my life. But like actively knowing that this is a good movie and I want to watch it, and that like I would go to Bangalore Times and like they would have TV schedules on that. You remember?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
I would search 1:30, changing Angelina Jolie. What's the name? Clint Eastwood movie. Or I want to watch it. I'll turn on, but the fucking number of ads in between, it's like irritating to be in peace in this world. So
I think then they introduced that One Break movie and shit like that.
oh yeah, that
For
was
but
also,
that
matinee
was
alone,
in
they
late night and 2 o'clock again.
No, only for matinee and the late night, there was One Break movies, I think. That was like
Yeah.
1 p.m. on weekends used to be the matinee. That was One Break. And they used to play, yeah.
And
that
most of
is
it was bad movie. And they had
yeah,
just
Death
one
Race.
break for
So many
really bad.
times I've watched that movie, Death Race on Sony Pix. I've seen that so many times. And also they're censored, so it's even more irritating.
Yeah,
So,
but to answer your question, like if it was one movie that changed everything, it's gotta be Pulp Fiction, man. Like it's a very cliched answer right now. Like yeah, I'm a film bro, but yeah, still it's Pulp Fiction. Tarantino changed everything. So yeah.
yeah. Pulp Fiction. Yeah, go ahead, Vishnu.
No, Pulp Fiction, yeah, there's nothing like.
No. What's the movie that changed things for you?
Oh, what? So my introduction to movies and me watching movies is started very late, right? Like I never used to watch like star movies, WB, HBO, and all that. And like I was in sixth, seventh. Like I loved watching wildlife documentaries. I think like whatever, I got very limited TV time at home. I was not studying well, so I got very limited. And whatever limited time I got, I used to watch National Geographic or Wildlife, Animal Planet, or Discovery, because that's what I really liked. Right? I knew each and every show that was there. Like I knew David Attenborough's narration for few. Like till date, I think there's this one BBC Earth where I think 15 or 20 hyenas attack one male lion. One of the most beautiful pieces of documentary that I've seen, right? I know narration of it. So like those were the stuff I used to watch. I never watched star movies. I like no Romney now, nothing. But like I used to go to Mysore for summer vacation, and there, so my uncle used to get me get like CD. All cousins were there, so we used to go to the CD store and buy like CDs for like $20 piece. It's not official Blu-ray. He's like torrented it. He's put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
selling it for 20-30 bucks, right? So like then buy full Narnia set, buy full whatever Harry Potter set. My sister and my cousin sister used to get most like veto. They used to be vetoed. I just used to be like, okay, one movie of my choice, and like other 15 were my cousins, right? So they used to take whatever kuch kuch hota hai, dil wale dil dunia, whatever. Till date, I don't like those movies. I've not watched them. So like that's how I started, and then I think like after 12th was when I watched Nayagan for the first time, Mani Ratnam, and that was like I didn't know Indian movie like that, right? Like I've never watched Indian movies like that. The only type of Indian movies I watched were proper stupid Tamil masala movies, or like whatever. Like I watched Nayagan, I was like, Indian movies can be like that. Like what happened? Like only it looked like something that's I've never seen before. Now I didn't watch Godfather before that. I didn't watch whatever Goodfellas, or any big gangster movies of the English of the Hollywood. I think so. I watched Nayagan. It was like mind blowing. Then I watched all Mani Ratnam movies. Of course, beautiful stuff. Then I started watching all like English. Of course, Tarantino was. I think uh, my friends were over. We torrented Pulp Fiction and we watched it. And of course, I think I fell asleep in between. But like again, I watched it the next day morning. Oh man, Pulp Fiction again. Yeah, beautiful movie. So immediately next day again, next day night we torrented Reservoir Dogs and we watched it. And so it's like, yeah, beautiful stuff. So
Disclaimer: we
I think
don't support
Nayagan.
torrenting. Anyone who's watching, not good. We don't support torrenting. Disclaimer: it's not good.
I don't know how to torrent. I don't know how to torrent movies.
Even I don't know, guys.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. Like I think I wanted to edit a trailer for Baby Driver for Filmophilia. I asked Vaishak to like upload it on the drive, and so that I could download it. Then like I'm a huge John Mayer fan, so I wanted to watch his concert film called Where the Light Is, and I asked my friend if you please torrent it and put it on the drive. I want to watch it. So I don't know how to torrent it. I know I have to go to YTS, but I don't know what to do after that. Right? So yeah, Nayagan is my answer.
Speaking of concert movies, I torrented Justin Bieber's Never Say Never in 10th, and I saw that.
Sick. Some girl you wanted to impress. Probably.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Pulp Fiction. Now that like you spoke of it, like I saw that movie. Obviously, how things start off is like you start going through the IMDb list, right? Okay, top. I want to watch this movie after this movie after this movie. And like when it came to Pulp Fiction, it was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. The music was amazing. It was non-linear. Like, what do you say? Like before that, like I would just watch it visually, but Pulp Fiction, the writing, the music, the direction, all of those things, like when I started observing it, Bruce Willis scene of him picking a weapon, you remember that, right? And the music, it's and like he picks it and like he looks at it and like he picks the katana up. Like I have not laughed that much in my life. And then, and then he opens it up and no one talks like that in real life. And like, are you good? No, man, I'm pretty fucking far from good. You hear that, homeboys? What does that say? Oh God.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm going to go to town on you with a pair of blowtorch. You hear that, hillbilly boy? I'm going to go on your ass, right? So no one talks like that. And writing dialogue that way, obviously I came across Aaron Sorkin later and saw Social Network and stuff. But dialogue writing that way was like, it was so funny, so refreshing. And even in Django Unchained, oh God, yeah. These were movies which I saw, what do you say? In my earlier days, it didn't matter if a movie was more grounded or it was more realistic, right? It just cinema for the sake of cinema.
Yeah, but Pulp Fiction, yeah, it can be a whole podcast in its own, right? Like
Yeah.
talking about Pulp.
I'm sure there are like not
Yeah.
podcast series in itself for and just for Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Like you told, some dialogues can be like that. Like nobody speaks like that, but for each line like that, there are two more lines that are so natural. Like random shit he puts in the beginning of the movie, like the conversation about
Royal Vichy.
Royal with cheese. Yeah. Even in Reservoir Dogs, the whole conversation with the tipping of the
Man, that
waitress.
scene. Yeah.
Like for every non-realistic dialogue, there is a whole paragraph of just things that you actually hear people talking about in real life.
Yeah, funny you mentioned about the IMDb. Right? Yeah, the thing with me is I rarely like those really top-rated movies. Like I really like Shawshank Redemption. I really like Godfather, but I don't really like Pulp Fiction a lot. For some reason, I don't really like Pulp Fiction. My favorite Tarantino movie is Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, of course, that's
Yeah.
there, but Pulp Fiction is Pulp Fiction. You know?
Inglourious Basterds, when I saw it, it was like a really tough watch in the beginning because I didn't expect parts of it to be in French and German and like, moms, when is English coming? Please, understand one or two dialogues, other language. But like, oh God, yeah.
The first 20 minutes of that movie is, for me personally, is the best opening
Oh yeah,
cinema I've ever seen. It's
Christoph
so
Waltz
tense.
is
Yeah,
too good.
Christoph Waltz is on another level. That movie. Yeah, so basically, for me, it's always the opposite. If you say Dark Knight is the best movie in the trilogy, I'll always gravitate towards Dark Knight Rises, which is the most least famous movie of the trilogy. It's always been like that. So.
Like, is it like your rebellious attitude or like?
No, it's just I just like I don't know I don't know why, but I just like the other movies more. So if you say if you take any Paul Thomas Anderson movie, the famous ones, the ones which he is known for, and you ask me if that's your favorite movie, I'll just say no, that's not my favorite movie. My favorite movie is Inherent Vice. But the most famous thing is There Will Be Blood
There will
with
be blood,
Daniel
yeah.
Day-Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
my favorite is Punch Drunk Love. Like
yeah, that's also really good.
yeah. Also,
So
like I wanted to
always like that.
ask Ajay, like for me, like I watched Goodfellas only one time, so I really didn't get the hype. So can you please like explain, like even you two, Vaishak and Vishnu, like if you watched if you love Goodfellas,
Of
like
course, man.
yeah,
How
like
can you not? How can you
The
not like
thing with
Sunshine?
Goodfellas,
I loved I liked it, like I
no,
enjoyed
the
it.
thing with Goodfellas is
Yeah.
the movie should have ended at one point, but then it keeps going. That part is still good, but it should have ended at that point. I think that's the problem with Goodfellas. It
Mm.
just goes on for some time, even after it should have ended. What I feel is the ideal time for that movie is 2.5 hours, but then it goes on for another 20 minutes. I think that's my issue with Goodfellas, but the characters are amazing, the dialogue is amazing, the situations the characters are in, that's also amazing. Anything extra is really good. So
With me and movies is that like I've watched whatever in a lot of movies. I understand how movies are made, like analyze. I've watched every YouTube, analyze everything there is on every movie, lessons from a screenplay, studio binder, everything I would have binged at least 2-3 times. But I still have this with few movies and few people, few actors that like I genuinely don't care, right? Like till date,
yeah,
watched I've watched like so many movies, but till date, if Vijay makes a movie, I'll watch it I'll watch it, I like it. I'll go to the theater first day first show, I'll sit in the front, whistle, shout. Like it's like that, right? I'll fight with people if people say it's
I
good.
I watched Sura 3 times in the theater
So like stupid movies, like Vijay movies are
just because I like Vijay.
it's just masala, basic stuff, five fights, five songs. put a love story and put a villain in, right?
Also, the experience with the audience is different. Like
Yeah,
when you're with that audience,
Also, making movies like that is as difficult as making something like, say, whatever
that's
you say.
debatable, but that's very debatable.
No,
But still,
I mean really, like really good masala movies.
yeah, really good ones. Yeah, we'll get to that. But it's the same thing with Goodfellas for me, right? Like Goodfellas. Oh man, first time I didn't watch Shawshank Redemption before Goodfellas. The narration in Goodfellas, man, fucking what, so good. Like the freeze frames and like exact perfect moments. The frame freezes, right? Um, young Henry Hill gets hit with a belt by his father. Frame freezes. 2 minutes later, the postman is in the oven. Frame freezes. Oh man, just too good. Like entire. I know like how I've seen so many interviews of that where that famous infamous smoking scene is there, not Robert De Niro. And like apparently Scorsese says that apparently they didn't have anything like there. It was a set, right? So there was basically like a bathroom door that he was staring into while smoking. And Scorsese kept taking takes, and he was like, one particular take, he was like he looks like a wolf. He looks like a wolf ready to kill. Choose that take. So like, and when you see it after watching that, after hearing that, you realize that yeah, he kind of looks fucking badass when he's smoking, right? He sees he's walking, Maury's walking, and he picks it up. The music, yeah, Scorsese, Tarantino, very basic Indian film buffs thing, but they're still like Vijay for me. Like I watch anything Scorsese or Tarantino does. It's like that, and I like it. I'll fight for it. It's, other movies I can analyze, I can criticize later, but these two people, oh man, beautiful people, beautiful stuff. I like Jackie Brown. King of Comedy, yeah, it's nice, but few people don't like.
I like the edgier Scorsese movies more than the gangster movies. More known for the gangster films, but I like Taxi Driver the most.
Taxi Driver, all those movies.
but what do you think about? I haven't watched any of his religious movies. He made a lot of religious movies too.
Yeah, he made Silence, right?
Yeah,
Silence and this thing, Passion of Christ.
Passion of Christ. Yeah, I haven't watched
Silence
those.
was the one with Adam Driver.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
You like Adam Driver, that's why you like it.
I like Adam Driver. I like Andrew Garfield. It's a perfect movie. I like my favorite director is Scorsese, so it's like the holy trinity.
I remember when Silence was coming out and being like, oh, all hyped. Martin Scorsese movie, Silence coming out. It came, it went. No one knew where it really.
That supposedly that's his dream project. He was waiting to make that movie for 20 years or something, and nobody watched it.
Yeah, it came, it went. Oscar nominations also. It's like very.
They're nominated for Oscar also.
Nothing, it didn't get nominated.
I felt bad for him. That was his dream project. But it's also, but I can understand why people don't like that movie also. It's so slow, so meditative. You have to be in a mood. You have to, for some movies, you have to prepare like you have to plan the whole day for the movie, right? So Silence is like that kind of movie. Okay, so I have to watch this movie. So you have to plan your entire day around that movie. Silence is that kind of movie.
Yeah, but we've been talking about Hollywood and stuff. I know Ajay watches a lot of non-Hollywood, other language movies, not Indian movies. We'll get to Indian movies. That's cool. We'll end with patriotism. But I know Ajay watches a lot of other language movies, Korean, Danish. I personally don't watch a lot. I watch just like Oscar-nominated Oscar winners. Like I watched Minari, I watched Another Round. Really good movies. Parasite, I watched. A few other Bong Joon-ho I watched. But what do you guys watch other language movies? I watched Pianist.
It starts off with like again directors for me. So like when I watch my favorite directors, they talk about their favorite directors. So when Quentin Tarantino tells that Breathless is one of his one of his most influential films, obviously I'll go watch it. It's French and like I understand, right? Then Pawan Kumar told me he loves Wong Kar-wai, so obviously I had to see In the Mood for Love, right? And then Asghar Farhadi, The Salesman.
Is he stuck? Or
Yeah.
just for me? But yeah, like other language movies, yeah, I watched like other people. I did film studies in fourth sem. We had, you also would have done.
Yeah.
So there you learn about Godard and like other people. Who's the other guy? Bicycle thieves. Vito, what's that fellow's name?
Don't remember.
All these French New Wave, Italian
Yeah.
movies, Bicycle
Tarkovsky.
Thieves, 8.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Special place in my heart because one like is that. Oh, is my internet okay? Hello?
You're still
You guys
stuck.
are stuck.
We can hear you. Yeah. You're better now. Yeah. You're on mute.
It kicked me out of Zoom. I don't know why. What happened here?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Chill.
Okay.
It's fine. But
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Okay.
it's fine now.
The stream will be back. I'm sure, nothing to worry about. But kicked me out of Zoom, guys. I don't know why. But anyways, we're back. What was I talking about?
We're talking about other
Foreign films.
movies, and I told that in fourth sem we had movies. So like we were introduced to Italian cinema, French New Wave, German, all that. German, no, guess we didn't. I'm just telling, but Italian and like French New Wave watch a lot. 8.5, Band Apart, Bicycle Thieves. What is the other one? The whole Charlie Chaplin movies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Silent movies. What A Trip to the Moon? Oh wow, what a movie that one is! Trip to the Moon. It's like some 8-9 minutes long. It's just like some animation. Something happens. Something goes to the moon. That's it. But it's like damn fun. You see an animation movie made in the 1920s. It's just cool. But yeah, Vaishak, go ahead. You were talking about other language films and how directors that you like spoke about directors that they like.
Where was I cut off? Do you remember?
That's what you were
That's why,
speaking
yeah.
about. Pavan
Yeah,
Kumar
I think you
told some
cut off
Wong
with Pawan
Kar-wai.
Kumar.
Oh, sorry.
Cut off with Pawan Kumar.
Okay, yeah, cool. So like, yeah, I spoke for quite a while, and then and then Zoom quit and it reopened for me. I don't know why, but anyway, so yeah, it starts with like which of my favorite directors, what are their favorite movies, and yeah, like I mentioned, Breathless because Quentin Tarantino talked about it, and Pawan Kumar told Wong Kar-wai is one of his favorite directors, so I had to see In the Mood for Love, and he told he likes Asghar Farhadi, so I saw A Separation and The Salesman. The Salesman was like, what do you say? It was a very that was 2017 if I'm not wrong, and it won Best Foreign Film, and Asghar Farhadi didn't come and pick up the Oscar because Trump had the immigration ban back then, and he told that like because of this I'm not going to come, and they spoke about it in the Oscars. So yeah, so that's where it starts off for me, and A Separation obviously has like a very special place in my heart because my granddad had Alzheimer's too, and like looking at the grandfather in that, and like his son taking care of uh, his father was like, it reminded me a lot of my dad taking care of my grandfather. And so it was like a very beautiful movie experience, and the dialogues and the conflict and the acting. Oh, A Separation recommendation to everyone over here, everyone watching. So it was that, and obviously later uh, people talked about how Akira Kurosawa is like a very influential director. So I had to see Rashomon, Seven Samurai, and those movies. And I was watching a lot of Nazi movies. Uh, it started off in English only, like Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List, and all of that. But then later I saw Das Boot, Der Untergang, and yeah, so like all of and so like that's where like foreign movies start off with this. Korean movies I have not yet. It's not like I have gone into foreign films in excruciating detail or whatever. It's just that like I've explored stuff. Korean side of things I haven't seen yet. I've not even seen one Korean movie yet except Parasite. But yeah.
You know, funny thing about these Korean movies is that, like these Indian movies, they won't copy English, they'll copy Korean. And some fucker on Instagram will be like, "Do you know Kamal Hassan copied Korean movies?" And you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'll go watch." Ajay, do you remember what's that Kamal Hassan movie, the one where he plays like the dad, the recent one, very fuck all,
Tungavana.
Tungavanam.
That's a French movie.
Yeah, so French or Korean, some movie like that. Like I've watched movies like that. Someone will like Indian movie I would have watched. They'll be like, "Hey, it's a copy Korean movie. It's Korean movie, damn good." I'll go watch that movie. Neatly, I'll go watch that movie. So stuff like that, I would have watched Korean and like other language.
For me, it's like okay, so it's like okay, so if I watch a movie and then if I love that movie, I'll just go and search movies like the movie I watched. So if I, for example, if I watch when I watched Zodiac, when I rewatched Zodiac, I wanted to watch movies like that. So I was like, okay, movies like Zodiac, and then the first thing that showed up was Memories of Murder by Bong Joon-ho, which is a Korean movie. So that's how I watch foreign films. So because Zodiac is and Memories of Murder are very similar, and there are many scenes that are very similar. Even the story structure and everything is similar. So that's how I discover movies. So then once I watch one movie in that language, then I'll watch every movie of that directors, and then I'll watch and then I'll read another article, and it will be like, okay, he was inspired from this movie, and then from there I'll go to this other language. Yeah, that's how it's for me.
So for me, it's YouTube, my main source. Like channels like Cinefix, their lists, they include a lot of foreign films. So that's how I got into foreign film. Like for like this is the worst choice for your first foreign movie, but I watched Old Boy as my first foreign film.
It's a
So
great
yeah,
movie.
I know. I just choose films that fuck you up somehow. I just end up watching them.
Yeah, I need to say.
Yeah, like yeah.
That
I think it's
oh,
because my
see,
favorite genre is horror, so I'll always go and search for a really fucked up movie, and I'll end up watching.
I'm kind of like right now I'm obsessed with movies that kind of fuck you up. So like even the director of Another Round, uh,
Thomas
Thomas
Winterberg.
Winterberg. Yeah, his other movie, The Hunt.
Yeah, that's
I
also
watch.
really
Yeah,
fucked
yeah. That's like the feeling you get at the end of Old Boy. The last 20 minutes of Old Boy, that's like stretched out throughout the entire runtime of The Hunt.
throughout the movie. Yeah.
Throughout the movie, just that same feeling you have. Like you don't want to close the movie, but also you don't want to watch it. Like that strange feeling you get while watching that. Like it's very frustrating also. So yeah, even Letterbox. That's also one of my main sources for
Letterboxd.
foreign films. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Now that there's movie, have you guys tried that?
No.
Yeah, I wanted to watch this movie called Shiva Baby that released like a month back or something. So I got that 7-day trial and then I watched and then I canceled the subscription.
that's so the classic Indian stuff. That's like nothing
All of-
like
So in the 7 days, I watched a lot of movies, like old Russian movies and all I was watching. The Tarkovsky,
Oh, yeah.
but
Stalker,
like
and stuff.
this Cinefix fellow, I know him that 10 top 10 he'll give, no?
Yeah.
He's too much. Like he could continuously he'll keep he doesn't write scripts. He just notes down movie names. And he'll keep adding is that, but that and he'll just keep telling movie names. There's nothing else. But yeah,
They make it so epic also. Like
yeah,
I watch it just like the feeling. I watch Cinefix movies when I don't have mood for watching films. Like that's how I get into the mood of watching foreign films. The Cinefix videos hype me up.
yeah. Cinefix, a lot of movie channel like movie analyze channels are there, but that Cinefix, I watched everything, but somehow I don't like him too much. Like too much he is. Like he,
Cinefix was like he hyped me to watch No Country for Old Men, and
oh yeah.
oh God, oh what, yeah, and that and the number one movie on their list is Chinatown, and
Oh yeah.
I saw Chinatown by Roman Polanski as well, and like I understood why people like it, but yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of movies are like that. You can understand why they like it, but you don't have to necessarily like it. I
Yeah,
hate Citizen Kane, but I can understand why people say it's the best movie ever.
yeah. No, Citizen Kane like that. Yeah, Citizen Kane you watch because like you watched like
I
whatever.
have to watch, so
Yeah,
it's like you have to watch this movie.
like okay, yeah, you watch Godfather, you watch whatever. Where's Citizen Kane? Do you know what's Rosebud? Do you know it? Yeah. So foreign films also some are like really good. Like another round I watched recently. I have Ajay watched it. When Ajay watches a movie, he's obsessed by it.
I'll put 10 stories.
Obsessed by it. And he puts up his DPs like that from that movie. He puts up like 3 stories from that movie. He like puts up a post on his page. Like he'll post his WhatsApp story, Instagram, everything will be that movie, right? When he does that, you know the movie is good. So you go watch that movie. So he did that for another round. His DP was Viggo Mortensen. That's the guy, no?
No, Match Nicholson.
Mads Mikkelsen, yeah.
How? Yeah. So that fellow, whatever, he's there. You go watch that movie. Really good. Like it is very fun, funny at parts. It's like it makes you like think. A really good movie. Another round. I understand. It didn't win, no? Minari won, right?
No,
It won best foreign film.
What did? Okay. No, what did Minari win?
No, Minari, I don't think it won.
I don't think
It
Minari
just
won.
got dominated.
Another
no?
round won.
Okay. Yeah, you understand why it won, and sometimes you also like it. Yeah.
About Citizen
Foreign
Kane,
films.
like the films that like when you watch so many films that people expect you to have watched like the known films or the must-watch films. Before we started the podcast, Vaisak pointed out my YouTube channel. So I used to do videos. I used to review films on YouTube. Like when I was really young, that too. Like when I was in 9th, 10th, that's when I started out my YouTube channel. So like when I watch back those videos, it's really cringy. Like that's one of the reasons I stopped. Like I got to know, like I became self-aware that I don't know much about movies. Like I had watched like near like not even 100, 200 movies at that point. But I knew I loved movies. So that's how my YouTube channel started. Like, that's how I got started doing videos. So like I gave like Suicide Squad, like I was like, so hyped about it. I gave like 8 out of 10. I'm like, it's the best movie, go watch it. I was doing that shit. Like Batman vs Superman, it's so good, guys, go watch it in theaters. Like I was doing that shit. Then I started watching other movies, like the older ones. Then I figured out I sounded dumb, so so I stopped it. So I wanted to watch more movies, gather some more experience, maybe then started back up the YouTube channel. So yeah.
For me, it was this feeling like if I watch a movie, I have to tell someone that I watched it. I love that movie. Everything I have to tell someone. So for me, I don't know. At one point, telling my friends wasn't enough. So I just had to type it and put it for the whole world to see.
Yeah,
Even if
yeah,
they don't see, I
yeah.
just have to put it out. So that's how I started my page. And I started. So usually when I watch a Hollywood movie and if there's a situation and suddenly a Tamil song starts playing in my mind for some reason because it fits that situation. So I'll go back and edit that song into that scene and then I just upload it there. So I just want to put out what I feel and even if it's cringy, I don't care. I'll just upload.
Yeah, and like few movies you get to know about like movies, other movies that these people like the famous mainstream famous directors have made, especially like this Prime has this beautiful feature of trivia and stuff, right? So like they put up, oh, this scene is reference to this and stuff like that, and that's how I like Citizen Kane I knew, but like in Wolf of Wall Street, I love Wolf of Wall Street. I watched it a lot of times. And then in Wolf of Wall Street, that band scene where he gets the whole parade into the office, there's a band, there's a lot of strippers, everyone come in, right? So you like if you see the trivia. It says references to Citizen Kane, and it tells you, oh, Kane does this and stuff. You go watch it, and exact same, like the uh, composition of the shot, the way the paraders walk in straight with like marching and like they move right, exact, like it's almost carbon copy types. And with Wolf of Wall Street, there are so many references to Citizen Kane that at one point I was like, I was pushing watching Citizen Kane, like I'll watch it. I had it. And then like sometime I was watching Wolf of Wall Street, I'd read it so many times, but again read it, I was like, okay, and I watched. And then like it's so many references to so many other movies that people have made ever since that movie. I guess that's why it's like classic. Yeah, I didn't really like it. It's like slow, boring and stuff. But
Also, the really famous movies of directors are not necessarily
Their
the
best.
best
Yes.
movie
Yeah.
they have ever. Also, like people always say 2001 Space Odyssey is the best and all that. I don't know.
But you can't sit through it. You can't even watch it twice.
I can't sit through that movie at all.
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
watch one. I always watch 1 hour of 2001 Space Odyssey and then I switch it off.
7 minutes is darkness. So yeah.
I can't watch that at all. But I can watch Shining. Okay, how much of it I may want. I can watch Full Metal Jacket how many times. Yeah. So I can watch Eyes Wide Shut for many reasons. So yeah.
And speaking of directors, most critically acclaimed works not being my personal favorite is like one of my most favorite movies of all time, which I really like, is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and by David Fincher. I would argue that that's my favorite movie of all time, because the way that it's made, it's shot so well, edited so well, and the whole thing with David Fincher being a perfectionist and taking 60, 70 takes for each shot. And that's it's seen so well in that movie. And there's always this debate of film versus digital, and the director who has made use of the digital medium to its best extent is for sure it's David Fincher. And the way he edits the thing about David Fincher's movies is that the editing is not at all visible. And they say that the Social Network has more VFX shots than Jurassic World because of the Winklevoss twins and whatever, right? So it's done so well. And like Lisbeth Salander, I love the character. And yeah, that movie is so good, but it's not seen as Fincher's best movie or whatever, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's Zodiac. I think I love Zodiac the most. That's my
Oh, yeah.
favorite Fincher movie.
My favorite part of Fincher movies is like it ends with a popular song. It's not like some original score. It's a song, and he'll end with that song. And when Zodiac ends, girly, 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 yeah.
Zodiac, that first 1 hour of Zodiac is very slowly written, right? Like the screenplay is slow. The whole pace of the movie is very slow, right? The first 1 hour where that first murder happens, and after that it's pretty slow.
I think you're supposed to feel that way because till one point, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's character can do anything. Like he can only like go and report to someone else. Only when he takes charge, only when he goes to places and he does everything himself, the movie starts to move faster than it was the initial 1 hour. Because he is able to do something, but in the initial for 1 hour, he is not doing anything. He's just reporting to Robert Downey Jr. and he's helping others, and I think it's deliberate.
I think that one scene in that Zodiac where he goes to the basement of that.
That's the best scene.
Oh man, that one scene, like I that killing happened and I watched like 45 minutes of it. I was like, oh man, David Fincher can't be this slow. Like, come on. I know it's gonna be good at the end, but it's very slow. So I had like stopped it and I had not watched it. Then again, 2-3 days later, I started from the beginning. And I was like, I'll sit through it this time. I'll switch off my phone. I'll keep it aside. I'll sit through this time. And I watched it. And when that basement scene happened, oh man, I was like, oh, give me more. And like in Zodiac, I think that's when the whole Fincher, the camera movement happened. The top
Yeah,
shot where the car moves, and when the car takes the right, the camera also moves. Oh, beautiful stuff. And that's when, after that was Curious Case or before?
I
Before
think
was good.
Before
After,
Zodiac.
I'm not sure. I think after the social.
Yeah, no,
When did
that
Zodiac come?
movement of Fincher camera of the cars moving from the top shot became very famous, I guess.
I think that the first thing was Zodiac.
And like him moving with the characters, like even if the characters moving screen right, screen,
since his first,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the
all
Fincher
that,
shot, he tracks eye movement and
yeah,
like the most.
the subtle movements he tracks. Vaishak's getting stuck. He's been using his,
How David Fincher hijacks your right.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's about that is like there's a nerd writer video called "How David Fincher Hijacks Your Eyes," and
Yeah.
in that it's about all that camera movement and whatnot. The thing about Zodiac is like the half an hour I feel is like very fast with like murders happening actively, and then it becomes a slow burn, and the story progresses from being about the Zodiac killer to being about Jake Gyllenhaal and like him, like how it's affecting him and how his character is going through it. It's not about the Zodiac killer anymore. It's about how he's failing as a family man and how obsession takes over you, and it turns into that. It's not about the killer, or it's not a serial killer movie. It's about human beings first and set in like a serial killer world. And
Yeah.
I think
That's
that's
also the same thing about Memories of Murder also, because it's the same premise. There's a series of killings that takes place, and then it's about the investigators, how it affects them, how they go through all of this, and yeah, I think that's the best part about Zodiac and Memories of Murder, not the serial killer aspect itself.
Yeah, it's like that's just the story bit of it, but like the relationships can be,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, like me and talking about this, and like Sumuka was telling, one thing which irritates me about people is that they'll tell I'm doing a play, and I'll ask what's the play about. They'll say, it's about transgenders. I mean, like, okay, there's a transgender character in this play, but
What is the story? Yeah, this from Sumuka. Sumuka is like, is our friend, is a theater. FECR, no, that's what he is. Vaishak, you're getting stuck a lot today, da. Your internet
yeah,
is
no, back. I know it's horrible today. The
yeah.
stream won't get affected. Like
No,
the
I know.
bandwidth is getting drained on Zoom.
Okay.
But cool.
You watching the stream on like another tab? Like, do you have the stream on?
Yeah, it's open. I have to keep it open.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we've spoke about Hollywood. We've spoke about other language movies. Now let's get to Home Ground. Home Ground. Harshith is already smiling. He's like, he knows he's going to lot of hate from his fans. People are putting Hollywood Harshith Gowda fans. They're starting fan clubs for you, Harshith. So yeah, Indian movies. That's, I think, whatever we can be like, oh, we started off with, oh, we like Hollywood, but at the end of the day, like, Indian movies are Indian movies, right? Some movies just like, you'll still watch them, you'll still like them. You watched, there's like 200 flaws. There's like suddenly people are dancing on the road. There are flaws, but you'll still love them, right? So, what are your takes on Indian movies? And yeah, I'll start. Okay, so how I used to watch, like, as I told, I didn't watch English movie. I didn't watch Star movies and like, stuff like that. But every Saturday on Metro Plus, the Hindu sub paper of Metro Plus, Bharadwaj Rangan, huge movie critic, national award winning film critic, used to write articles about the movie, the week, like Friday, whatever movies released. He used to write articles about it on Metro Plus, right? Like all these Times of India and stuff, they used to give 3.5 out of 5. But this guy, no ratings. He used to just write about it. He used to write about movie, and since it's newspaper, he used to write 1,000-word articles about it. And like the main movie of that week, he used to write, and the smaller movies, like other editors, other critics used to write. This guy was huge national award. He'd written a book about Mani Ratnam. It's like Conversations with Mani Ratnam, one of the most beautiful books. So he used to write, and it used to be so good, so funny. Like the way he used to write it very in like a very homely way. Like he would give references to like, like stuff that happens in a household in Chennai, like stuff like that, or an area in Chennai. Like all these references, and he used to make like the whole 1,000-word essay article would feel so good that I just used to read it. I never used to be like, take me to that movie, because my parents didn't take me to movies. And I used to just read it. And I used to feel like I watched that movie. Right? He never gave away the story or whatever, but just 1,000 words of his personal opinion he used to give. And that's how I used to watch a lot. I used to read every Saturday. I used to wait and read that one bit. I read newspaper, like from behind sports, whatever, and then like little bit. But that every Saturday reading Bharadwaj Rangan's review was like the best thing that could happen. I did that till he wrote for Hindu, I guess. And then he stopped. He started his own film companion, whatever. So that, and KTV, of course. I grew up in Chennai, so KTV is like, to put it in context for Vaishak and Harshith, it's like Udaya movies, right? It's Udaya movies only, but it's called KTV, and beautiful programming they do. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Solid movies, right? And there are movies, there is like Surya Vamsham for Setmax. There are KTV movies. Like you can't watch that movie, you can't find it on torrent also, but KTV will play it, right? So I watched like on weekends.
Even a 1 hour movie will run for 4 hours with advertisement.
Yeah, I used to watch like on weekends when I know I finished my homework, I don't have an exam. I used to watch from 11 till 10. I used to watch back to back to back, and on weekends he used to play really good movies, right? And it used to be like recent movies, slightly older ones, and obviously just Tamil. But I used to just watch so many movies. I've watched on KTV till date. People say, oh, on TV, like people stopped watching TV and stuff. But till date, I know I can watch. One of my most favorite Tamil movies, Panchitantram. I know I can watch it on Sun Next or like YouTube or torrent it or whatever. But if Panchitantram is playing on KTV on 7 p.m. on a Thursday evening, I will watch it from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. with ads, with everything. And he will cut down like scenes, songs, and stuff like that. And I will bitch about it, but I'll still watch it, right? So KTV, to me, I still watch KTV till date. Like, and now also 4 p.m. I think that's a really good movie. So I'll probably go watch it, right? So that's how, like, Indian movies, I've definitely watched more Indian movies than in Hollywood and other language movies. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. I understand all four pretty well. Tamil, Kannada, of course, I understand properly. Malayalam, Telugu also I understand almost 100%. So I watched so many regional language movies. Bengali and stuff, I know like Satyajit Ray, whatever, but I don't. Hindi movies I don't like, unless like very few I watched. Like Lunchbox are nice. That's all. Hindi, fucking, I don't like it. So you guys, go ahead. But Bharadwaj Rangan, if you're watching, I love you, man. You guys?
Okay, so I will also I know Vishnu knows this, but I'm a huge Vijay fan.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah,
That's why we are friends. If you're Ajit fans, I wouldn't have called you.
Yeah, so for me, even if you go to my letterbox profile, shamelessly, in my favorites list, I have put Master after Blade Runner 2049. I'll do all sorts of things like that because I'm a huge Vijay Kanni, I'll do that. So, and I think like yeah, I'll obviously watch all the Tamil movies that come out, and if I get really hyped up about it. But I think uh, uh, if you, I think I don't know who mentioned this, but someone I was listening to a podcast once, and someone mentioned that in film schools they always encourage you to watch other language because you, I don't know why, but they always tell you to watch other language movies because you'll get you just don't get used to the kind of movies that you watch here. So it's so us watching Hollywood movies is not actually, not watching more Tamil movies and watching more Hollywood movies is not actually a bad thing. That's how it is that's how it is all over the world. So in Hollywood, I think most of them tell you to watch Iranian movies because of how bold they are. Because most of their movies are political. They can talk whatever they want. They make movies about whatever they want, no matter how controversial it is. Almost all Iranian movies are controversial. So it's like Americans have to learn from it, and I think that's why they tell them to watch all those movies. So I think that's okay. But you should all. But for me, I'll always watch Tamil movies only for more than I watch Hollywood. If I watch, even if it's the same movie, I'll watch it again and again. So if I watch five new uh, Hollywood movies or Korean movies or something, I'll watch the same Tamil movie 5 times. Like last week, I watched Vadachennai 3 times. I don't know why I watched that 3 times, but I
Yeah.
watched it again and again. I watch Master once every month. I don't know why I do that. I told I shamelessly put it next to Blade Runner 2049. I'll always do
Harrison
that.
Ford, Vijay Sethupathi. That's the perfect.
Ryan Gosling, Vijay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's also really special because like I told you, the turning point was in 10th when I got into movies. But till then, the only actor or the language movie that I really used to watch was Tamil. Till then, the only English movies I watched were Lion King, Narnia, and all those kids movies. Like. So parents don't take you to the more mature movies or even the more lesser known Hollywood movies. They only take you to the really well known movies because even
Franchisee
they
movies.
know
Yeah.
only that. Yeah. So Tamil, for me, always Tamil movies will always be special, and I'll keep this trend forever, putting Tamil movies with all the Hollywood movies. Because like I said in the beginning, I think it takes uh, they it's as making a really good masala movie is as difficult as making a really good art film. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, me, Indian movies. The only exposure I have is Anurag Kashyap, so I don't know. That's the only movie. That's the only Hindi movies I watched. And of course, Kannada movies. Yeah, when I was a kid, yeah, a lot of Kannada movies. And of course, KGF I went first day for sure. Of course.
Good. I have a good story about KGF, but yeah, I'll narrate it. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I have. Like that's the only exposure I have. The recent movies, KGF, Anurag Kashyap movies. So I'm trying. I downloaded some Mani Ratna movies, and of course, Malayalam movies. I know like a lot of them are really good. I copied from a lot of them from my friend's hard drive. So I'm trying to watch them, pushing them a lot, but trying to watch.
Malayalam, I think, is the best when it comes to mainstream movies right now. I think. I mean, consistently, it's like
Yeah.
they're also making really bad movies from time to time. But yeah, but it's like if they make 5 good movies, that two will be really good. So, yeah.
Which is a good ratio.
Yeah, that's why they're
Compared to
consistent.
others.
Tamil is sometimes they'll make really good movies. Then that's all.
Yeah.
It'll go
Like
down.
for every one good movie, that's like 6 bad movies.
Six bad.
Telugu and like Kannada and stuff. Malayalam, for every one good movie, that's like only 2 bad movies. Which is like okay, acceptable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've watched, I think, everything that's released on Prime, Netflix, recent times before, all for at least the 4 South Indian languages I've watched. Yeah.
Malayalam, the beautiful thing about their movies is that since the beginning, they have been very close to reality, as in their actors do have body hair. And am I stuck again?
No, go ahead.
Oh God.
Now you're stuck. Yeah, they do
Okay.
have body.
Okay. Fine. What's
Stuck again.
that to happen? Anyway, hello, am I back?
Yeah, you just talk. You just talk. It's fine.
Yeah, you're back.
Hey, no, I'm scared. No.
No, just talk.
Please
Just
stuck.
talk. You're
It
fine.
says my internet is unstable.
Yeah, it is. But like, you just go ahead and talk. It's fine. But yeah, what you said makes sense. No, realism in Malayalam cinema is like big thing. Like that's what they like. Kumbulangi Night, such a simple story.
Zoom kicked me out again.
Yeah. Will you talk, Vaishak? Or do you need time to recover from the trauma of getting kicked out of Zoom?
Oh, it's happening now. Like Zoom doesn't even care. It's like I'll do it. You know, at least not even giving me the warning of your internet is unstable or anything. Straight up kick out and it'll let me join again. Like it'll kick me out and it'll put me back in. I don't know. I think there's some issue with my bandwidth is not enough for both streaming and Zoom call today. But yeah, I was talking about like Malayalam movies. They've always been grounded in reality, and like if you look at like the bodies of the protagonists, they're not perfect, and they have like they're not afraid to showcase their body hair, and like they have not been reserved with cutting down on the reality of it. Like if you watch Drishyam 2, right? In that a shot as simple as George getting ready in front of the mirror will be dirty. Like whose mirror is clean in real life, you tell. Like it'll be like dirty. But in Malayalam movies, they are dirty. There'll be like a blouse piece hanging from the door. Like they don't cut down on those little things. And that's what like makes it really, in reality. And uh, they don't have Greek god bodies or whatever, right? So I think that's the interesting thing. And
Also, they don't try to be something that they are not, which
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
Tamil and Telugu does. Because if, for us, action movies, for example, if you take something like Vivegam or something, some other movie, it tries to
basically
be
yeah.
a Bond movie because you have to go abroad to make a action movie or something. That mentality is not there in Malayalam, I feel like. Because
Yeah, Angamali Diaries is a
Angamali Diaries is an action movie, actually.
great gangster and
Yeah.
action movie.
But it's like, okay, that's how real action will be because people will be falling down, they'll be rolling on the streets, they'll make homemade grenades and then they'll throw. That death will be off camera. Like it's so natural, and they don't try to be something that they are not. They won't go abroad and make one. Really, they won't try to make an intense fight scene over there with guns and stuff. They'll try to make the best out of what they have.
Yeah. So,
and like
Best example is Jallikattu also.
oh man, what a that guy, that Lijo Joseph, that he's the
Yeah, Lijo,
man, that guy is too good. Angamali I watched recently. Oh,
Jallikattu. He has made a lot of good movies.
beautiful.
Ema,
Virus also.
Virus is Ashi Kapoor. He's also a really good director.
Few Malayalam movies, especially I think since the lockdown, people are like watching. I think like Malayalam movies.
Yeah, but like even that, it's like okay, everyone's like Malayalam movies. Okay, let's watch Fahad Fasil. No, there are a lot of movies that's not
Yeah.
with Fahad Fasil. Also, the really old Mohanlal Mammootty movies are also really good. I think people should watch that if you like the recent Malayalam movie.
Yeah.
the way they grounded in reality is like, yeah, I mean like that's what I noticed, and like that's what like stuck out to me. Like even before me coming on this Zoom call, like I try to ensure like my background is good, or like curate or like cater my appearance so much, right? And that is tenfold in movies, especially in like Kannada movies and stuff, where like like whose middle class household will look so perfect? You tell me, right? But in Malayalam, the way they like, it's like dirty. Like things are clustered, and they show it as it is.
Yeah.
And like speaking of like regional movies and stuff, like yeah, unfortunately, like I don't have any what do you say big association or like bond with, like you talked about Vijay Warner. 10th standard, I had a phase where I really liked Yash because Mr. and Mrs. Ramachari movie released then, and like all my friends, that movie was like, it was too big. Like everyone was talking about it. Everyone played the songs from that movie. So like I had to fit in. So yeah, and like obviously like what do you say, my phase as well. So I like that movie, and I saw a lot of Yash movies. I saw this movie called Googly, and like I was like, oh yeah, what a movie. And now if I look back on it and I see it like, yappa, what have I even watched and what did I even like, right? So and my internet's gone again.
No, we can hear you though, so it's fine.
But I'm not. My video is stuck. Huh?
It's stuck in a very beautiful position, yeah.
Oh God, no.
But yeah, did you have a fanboy face, Harshit? I still, it's not a face. You can
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Throughout the time I grew up, I was a fan of Punit Rajkumar. Like,
oh man, you're the OG.
yeah. Like,
Vaishak is fake. He's telling Yash new age. You're OG. Go ahead.
yeah. Like, I used to dance. So, like, those Punit Rajkumar steps, those songs, all those were the things I grew up on. So, yeah, Punit Rajkumar movies.
Like Puneet Rajkumar, did you like, oh, I'll go from child star, I'll watch Kaadadante. What's the song?
Kannadante Mayavadan.
Yeah, from there or like only from like the new ones?
No, first I watched the new ones when I was going, what I was releasing, that I was watching. But then of course, like I went back. My dad and my uncle showed me the older movies.
Bhakta Prahalada.
Bhakta Prahalada, yeah. Bhakta Prahalada, all that. Yeah. Big fan of Punit Rajkumar.
Ajay, you know Puneet Rajkumar, la? You know who he is? He's basically Vijay of Kannada. That's all. That's the equivalent.
I already have respect for him.
No, but he's been, you know Rajkumar, right?
Yeah.
Of course you know Rajkumar. Rajkumar's son, so he's done as a child actor also he's done. He's Simbu and Vijay.
Simbu.
He's basically that. So, but yeah, I understand. It's like peaceful. You can go watch it with your family. Your family would like clap, love that movie, but you're like, oh, okay, I'll watch. It's like that, right?
And
I almost brainwashed my mom into liking Vijay. Now she likes Vijay more than
yeah, my family hasn't that, has never been into movies so much anyway. So like later, like when I got into movies is like when they started taking me to theaters, and well, we saw Hum Shakals in theaters, like because like that's how like unaware my dad is, or like my parents are, of good movies or whatever. But
I think like with parents taking us to movies and stuff, I don't want to, how many people are watching? Some 7 people. I don't want to, not being controversial, but like, I still feel that like in South India, at least, I think the whole Kollywood thing has a much more like a bigger base, right? Like Rajnikant is a world phenomena, and he's from Tamil. So like everyone, like our parents, like our grandparents would know Rajnikant. And when Rajnikant does Endiran in 2010, your parents will take you. Like they will like pull strings and get you first day. They'll also come. They'll also take you to first day show, like evening show, like. And in Chennai, especially, the movie watching culture is huge. Even if people are not film buffs, even if they don't watch Scorsese or Tarantino, but they're huge film buffs. They'll watch every Tamil movie. And it also comes to a fact that like tickets for $120, right? You guys, Bangalore has 240 dynamic pricing. Here you watch Rajnikant also for 120 bucks. You watch the worst movie, zero budget movie also for 120 bucks. So I think that's how like the whole theater going culture also like is there more me and Ajay and like our is like taking us to like these movies than Bangalore, because you're like, why will I spend 240 rupees per ticket?
Yeah.
And if no one's there in the theater, then I'll just buy the front row ticket
Yeah,
and then go and sit in the back.
front rows wooden seats. You get it for 10 rupees. AC theater, but it's
Yeah.
wooden seats. You get it for 10 bucks. You can buy it. You can buy 10 buck ticket for like English movie. Go sit in the back. You can do that. I've done stuff like that.
I'll always buy 60 rupees tickets and then go and sit in the back
Yeah,
for Satyam
60,
theater.
50, it'll be like that. Like if you book through internet, it'll add up like 30 rupees extra and like be whatever 40 or 50. Stuff like
What? That's cheaper than Lace, da? What? Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the movie has like no one has to watch the movie for the theater to be empty.
oh,
People just watch. Like Satyam Cinemas is like the hugest like theater in multiplex in Chennai, and like people just go to Satyam. They're like, yeah, where do you want to go, Satyam? What movie you want to watch? I don't know. Let's go to Satyam and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
interesting.
so, I think um, my grandmom was like admitted in the hospital like for some like a small thing, right? And she was like getting discharged like the morning just for one night. So I stayed over like one night, and the hospital's next to Satyam, right? So I was like, and Saturdays they have 8 a.m. morning shows in Satyam. They have 8 a.m. morning shows. So I was like, let me just try going and like seeing. It's booked out. Like the most dabba movies like booked out at 8 a.m. Like whole of Chennai, every theater has a 8 a.m. show, 7:30 a.m. show in like on weekends.
And 50% of the people just go for the popcorn.
Yeah, they'll just go watch. And I used to love those morning shows. I think I watched Bajirao Mastani on a 7:30 a.m. show, something. And you get like the night shows popcorn. You get like he would have made the popcorn at 2 a.m. and it's still like it's sticky and like it's like, and you'll get whatever milkshake he'll make. Milkshake will be like this, like okay, cold coffee you buy. And the prices were very reasonable. I think that's why also like the theater culture is there.
Yeah.
Afford to ask your parents, give me 150 bucks and like go watch a movie. But like asking for 300 when you were in school is like scary.
Yeah. Back in 10th only, there were like 220 rupees tickets, which is not reasonable at all, in my opinion. But yeah.
Do you guys have favorite regional movies? Do you have Indian movies? Favorite Indian movies, not regional. Indian.
Yeah, I was talking about that, where like I don't have like Yash phase I had, but later like when what do you say? I had there was there's like a switch in your mind, like when before movies depend on the actors, you start like telling like, oh, I want to watch Vijay's movie, or like I want to watch Rajnikant's movie. But later that switch happens where you start, with associating movies with directors' names. Like I want to watch Pawan Kumar's movie, I'll watch Rakshit Shetty's movie. So that switch happened like again when I was in 10th. So that's when like I realized, okay, I saw like that's why like Kannada movies for me, like if you ask me which I saw Lucia first, then I saw U-Turn, I saw Udidavaru Kandante. And like I love them to bits. Udidavaru Kandante especially is like a very big phase in my life where like we used to play that Huli Vesha tune in class, and like we would dance to it and like telling the swear words in school. It was pretty cool thing to do. So that, and when I was in 10th, a movie called Titi came out, which was directed by Ram Reddy. And it's, if you haven't watched Titi in Kannada, do go watch it. It's like, it won a national award. And the story is Ram Reddy's help in the house was this dude called Ere Gowda. And Ere Gowda's village, they went, and like they're in like, in villages, if there's one person, like one person will know everyone, like everyone will know everyone, right? So he went to Ere Gowda's village, and they're all people who they know, and they made that movie. So it's like no famous actors. They're all, and like it's dark in a way that like it's raw. It's like really raw and close to reality. And like when someone dies, obviously like people are mourning, but like there will be one fucker who will like, I'll get good food today, right? So they show that side of things, and it's so raw and like beautiful. So Titi is on Netflix, and I saw it on Netflix also recently. So I saw Titi in theaters, and then this. So it was like brilliant stuff. And I saw a lot of Bollywood when I was growing up because I had cousin sisters, and like obviously they'll have uh, their favorite, movie star and their favorite.
Shahrukh Khan.
Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan. What's that? Shah
Saif
Rukh
Ali
Khan.
Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan was definitely there. Like Set Max, Kal Ho Na Ho, that, and like Main Hoon Na. And like I all the songs that I knew till I was in fifth, I think third, fourth were just Bollywood songs. So like just Hindi songs were all that I knew. So like because of that phase, like yeah, I saw a lot of Bollywood movies growing up, and uh, but later one of my favorite Indian movies is Piku, because it's written so well. And again, like I have like grandfather roles when done right. Like that Amitabh Bachchan's role is like I have a grand father who is like very similar in that way, a hypochondriac, and so like that hits home for me, and like written so well. It's about family, and it's so beautiful. So like Pico is like one of my favorite movies. And yeah, dude, like recently, like I had a Vikram phase. Vishnu knows about this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so like on a trip in 10th standard, we went to Pondicherry, and in Pondicherry, like that's when like I started talking about movies with different friends and stuff. And like one of my friends told Onion, triple role, isn't
Classic.
like, oh yeah, triple role. Last scene you should see, like acting, and like I saw it. It was like, oh god, like the songs are still there, like Rainbow Remo, Stun Gun Remo, all of that. Yeah. Watching the movie Kumari, oh yeah. So like
Yeah.
that Onion was my first Tamil movie, right? And like my dad, like he saw me watching that, and like, what are you watching? Like I saw this, like I remember watching this because it was a pretty big deal, like in when he
2004 or 5, something like that.
2004.
four, yeah, like in his like it was a big thing, like, oh, what you're watching this. And then like once Vikram, I saw a lot of Vikram movies. I saw Onion, I saw Sami, I saw what's that one? Pitamagan, I
Yeah,
saw.
Pitama.
Yeah.
I saw
Ajay is trying to be Vikram Pitamagan with his hairstyle.
Say the Vikram, not
I saw Setu, yeah, I saw Setu as well. And yeah, so and from Vikram, obviously you find out about Shankar. And from Shankar, I saw Indian, that's Kamal Hassan, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw I, obviously. And like wow, Vikram, what dedication, body, weight loss, all that stuff. So and obviously A.R. Rahman music, right? Uh, then Maniratnam, not I haven't divulged into his work pretty deeply yet, but yeah. So these are like my regional things. It's and like regional, like you said, like you guys pointed out, it really comes down to the place and like the people you're with. So if it's like if your parents take you to movies, like you told, since you were in Chennai, the movie culture is like really huge over there because tickets are cheaper. Like I didn't have like yeah uh, I didn't go to like local single screen theaters because they have a reputation for like being not good to go there because whatever unspeakable reasons, right? So like I didn't have a friend group which also went there where they just buy 100 rupee tickets or whatever and watch first day first show. So it was like always like reserved, and uh, the movies that we saw were like only on TVs. And my dad, even though like in his earlier days was really into movies, when I was growing up, at least he didn't show that much interest. Later, like when I started talking, he told, yeah, this watch this Shankar Nag movie, oh, it's really good. Watch this, watch that. Right. My uncle, on the other hand, like he has a home theater in his house, and like he had this huge collection of movies, and I would like, go crazy and like watch so many movies there. So like obviously, yes, not only do the movies, the people you're with, the friends you watch. I saw Jungle Book with my friends, so like those memories matter a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, regional movies. stuff
I
like that.
spoke about this.
What
like,
about you, Harshit? Have you watched anything like other?
Yeah, I talking about Kamal Hassan, I really like that Pushpaka Vimana.
Really?
Yeah,
Pushpak?
Pushpak, yeah. Pushpak.
Really?
I don't know. I watched it when I was young with
amazing movie, no?
my
What?
Yeah, it's brilliant. One of brilliant silent films like
Yeah.
that in
You
like
know,
80s.
when they did Pushpak Mana, like it was shot in Bangalore, but it had like Tamil actors or whatever. So they told in Tamil Nadu, they told it's a Tamil movie. In Karnataka, they told it's a Kannada
No.
movie.
How it was marketed was it's Pushpak, right? Like the movie is called Pushpak, but in Tamil Nadu, Pushpak is a very Hindi word. Like you can't sell it. Even if it's Kamal Hassan, you can't sell it in Chennai. You can't sell a Hindi movie in Chennai. Like Anurag Kashyap, no bullshit. No one, he can't sell in Chennai, right? So that's why they made it Pushpaka Vimanam. And in Kannada, they made it Pushpaka Vimana. So it was just for marketing purposes, they changed like the name of it. But
Yeah.
Pushpak, that's the hotel he stays in. Pushpak is the hotel where he stays in and all that. Brilliant movie. I recently rewatched it, but still holds good, I feel. And Kamal Hassan has always been that guy where he's watched he knows movies, right? He's watched like other movies. Even
And he is also the one person who has copied a lot of movies. So.
yeah, but even in Indian, there's this one dialogue. Indian released in '93, right? So Schindler's List also released in '93, and there's this one theater in Chennai called Woodlands where they play English movies. Like from like '60s, they've been playing like Hitchcock and like Terminator, like everything. All English movies used to release that single screen theater. So he says, even in Indian, there's a reference where he says he references his own movie. He's like, this is playing. Schindler's List is playing in Woodlands, but people will still go watch this movie, which is his own movie. As a character, he says it. So like he's been that guy who pushes people to watch other movies and stuff like other like Hollywood movies, other language movies and stuff. I think that's why I think I really like Pushpa. But yeah, go ahead, Ashit.
Yeah, that's the one movie that came to my mind when you said regional movies. So, and then
But
of
like-
course,
But like Rakshit Shetty and stuff.
yeah, that is there, of course. Like Lucia, Ulidavaru Kannante. That's what I got into too. So, yeah, but I haven't watched many of. My mom is a big fan of Vijay. Actually, she watches a lot of Tamil movies. So, yeah, I have to ask her. I've been writing more down movies right now to watch later. So, I got a big list now on my.
I would say don't start with Vijay movies.
No.
Yeah.
You want to get into Tamil movies. But I think Pokiri is really good. Like I think you can watch it. Proper.
Yeah, like these really old movies are really good. But I think if you want to watch a Tamil movie, I will actually tell you to watch all the Vetrimaran. It's like
But
they're
start with Vadachi.
really good movies.
Okay.
Or you can start with Jigar Tanda, no?
Yeah. Any new age Tamil movie, even if it's not really good, I think it'll appeal to people like us because it's all the filmmaking style is something that all of us love.
Yeah.
Chikadanda is like a Tarantino. It's like a Tarantino movie. It starts out in one tone and then just completely shifts in the second half. The
No,
filmmaking style is very similar.
I wasn't writing down Vijay movies. I was writing down Nangamali Diaries, all that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, dude, like something that like we don't associate our cinematic experiences, like I was telling, was the time and place at which it happened, right? Like now I can't watch movies on my phone at all, but I saw Fight Club on my phone and it's still like I remember it so well. Like it's not the ideal cinematic experience, and like I saw Hangover with my friends, and it's not the best comedic movie or whatever, but like it's still damn funny when I watch it, and like it's all about the memories associated with movies. And yeah, like I remember watching Bahubali and walking out of theaters like with that feeling, because obviously there was hype, massive hype throughout everywhere. Everyone was talking about it, but like yeah, to experience it is something else. That's why like again, like all of us, uh, Avengers, especially Avengers Endgame, watching that, and like all of like now we're grown ups, so like all of us saw it with our friends, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, the time and place and people matter.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
love the reactions. I love audience reactions basically. So
Yeah.
Endgame was an unforgettable experience. So watching Loki get killed in the first half, like fuck. Infinity
Yeah.
War, yeah, that was Infinity War, yeah. Like you didn't know what you were getting into. So that was I can watch how many ever French, Korean movies I can, but at the end of the day, I am enjoying Avengers MCU movies with my friends in theater. So I value that audience reactions a lot. Like I watch reaction videos on YouTube also a lot. Like right now Loki is going on, so like my schedule is after I watch the Loki episode every Wednesday, I just go on YouTube and watch people watching Loki. So I love watching their reaction to watching Loki. So also I will love the reactions.
Yeah, it was really insightful, like when you told that, like because in Chennai when you were growing up, theater prices are like this, theaters are like this, and so on, like how much of difference it can make. Yeah, it's really interesting. And from like day one, like when I interviewed Pawan Kumar back then, I remember asking him like, why are Kannada movies so bad, or like why don't people watch them? Like he told, like you watch, you are at fault here. Like first, like you as youth, you should watch movies, and like you should know what good movies are and choose what to pick. And like he told, like watching more movies will like fine tune your brain, and like once your brain is tuned, you'll be able to gauge movies better. And like once you start consuming better things will come out. So yeah, it's a thing that's been going on. And like it's awesome that like we talked so much. And do we have anything else? Do we have anything in the chat? Nothing, no?
nothing in the chat. We'll just end with some few rapid fire objective questions. Do you have any?
Okay, yeah. So far, like, thank you so much for your time, and it's been good. And yeah, for me, like, films, cinema, storytelling, all of that, theater, it's just like it what makes us human. It tells stories to each other,
Yeah.
and to associate that with memories and places and people. Yeah, so it's all good, fun stuff. So thank you for your time, and we will do the rapid fire. Okay. Do you have any rapid fire questions, Vishnu?
I think I have. I can, but go ahead. First, go first.
Uh, one movie you would want to watch before, one movie you would want to watch on your deathbed.
So, Whiplash.
Shawshank Redemption.
Jurassic Park.
Tough. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to tell. I would. Tare Zameen Par.
Oh, the guy, emotional guy, Vaishak.
Yeah.
Okay, give me two recommendations of Indian movies. Give me two Indian movie recommendations.
I don't know. You guys should give me. I don't have anything to say.
No, whatever you watched. I wouldn't have watched a lot of Kannada. So go ahead. Ajay and I wouldn't have watched a lot of Kannada. So go ahead.
Can you repeat the question? My internet was gone again.
Like, give me two Indian movie suggestions. Like your two favorite Indian movies, and like to each other. Like we all watch movies, so like to each other. Like Ajay and I wouldn't have. I've not watched Lucy. I'm pretty sure Ajay has also not watched Lucy.
But you told you saw Siddharth's remake.
So that's what was that called? What was that Siddharth movie?
Yanakku Oruvan.
Yenakullur one. That was Lucia, but I think Lucia was like nicer, I guess.
Better, I guess.
Yenakullur one was
What
not
do you
nice.
say? Lucia, why you should watch it is because it was entirely crowdfunded and they shot it on a DSLR, like not a cinema camera. So like it was very low key. And when the hero of the movie, his name is Nikhil, right? Sorry, the hero, I forgot his name, Satish Neenasam. Yeah, that's his name. So he told that like I was hero of the movie. So they told hero, nim manege tomorrow we'll send a car to your house, come for location. Then apparently he's like, I'm hero of the movie, and he got ready and like he was waiting for the car to come. A Toyota Qualis came, it seems, and then he sat inside. Then later the car was going somewhere else. He asked why the location is over there. No, we're going to pick up the light boy. And then like they went to pick up the director. So like they picked up everyone and then they reached there. So like that's why you should watch it, because it was birthed out of necessity and that stuff.
Yeah.
So and like if you watch the making, you'll see what all jugaad they had to do to bring it. But yeah, my recommendations would be Piku. Have you all seen Piku?
No.
No?
I watched Piku.
Okay, Piku is my first recommendation, and Lucia, obviously, Ulidada Kandante. Titi is my second.
Okay, I'll say Super Deluxe and then Pariyerum Perumal.
Yeah, that's Super Deluxe. I think you guys. I know Vaishak has watched Super Deluxe.
Yeah, I've seen Super Deluxe.
Yeah, Super Deluxe and Pariyerum Perumal. These two you really have to watch.
Very like political. I would say.
Yeah.
Do you say political?
Yes, a political.
Very political. I would say Nayagan, of course. Great, proper. It'll feel like Godfather now because you watch Godfather, but it's still Nayagan. And there's this Shankar movie called Gentleman. What's that? It's like that. It's a good masala movie. It's like a good.
I saw Boys. And like,
yeah, Boys, of course. Like, still watch Boys. If KTV, if they're playing Boys at 7 p.m., I'll watch. It's like that. Boys.
Yeah. Did Harshit answer?
Yeah, no, I have nothing in my mind right now.
But
I haven't watched that many. Even Kannada, I haven't watched. Like I am trying to remember the old Rajkumar movies that my dad showed me, but right now.
But yeah, Ajay, watch Ulidavaru Kandante. Really good movie. MX.
It's like a
MX.
very
again. You can see the Tarantino influence.
yeah, very Tarantino.
I mean, like they say that like when you go to film school, the director you want to be is Tarantino. Like everyone tries to be Tarantino. Apparently, that's just how things are.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question: a movie you would watch on your first date?
Before Sunrise.
And Ajay has done it.
I don't know. I love La La Land, so yeah, big Damien Chazelle fan, so La La Land.
Oh, a sweet movie. You see, Arshit's also romantic. Arshit looks like he might not look like a romantic, but what a romantic he is. He told La La Land. What about you, Vaishak?
You answer.
I have to think. I know you have an answer. You might have
an answer.
Fucking question. I need to think. Wait. I'll tell you. I won't be like, I don't know. I'll tell you. Wait.
Yeah, even I need to think.
I don't know, dude. Like if first date, if you're watching like Tarantino, you're gonna get married. But I don't know, man. The Intern. I don't know. I really like that movie. Intern.
Up.
Yeah, I think animation is a good pick for it.
Yeah, Ratatouille.
It's a safe pick.
Yeah, safe, I guess. So yeah, animation. We didn't even talk about animation. Fuck. So yeah, that's my question. 3 favorite animation movies. 3 favorite.
For me, it's Lion King, Spirited Away, Then the third one, I'm not sure. Third one has to be Up or something.
Yeah.
Mine. I really liked Soul recently, and
Is it really good? Like, or is it just like the hype good types?
It's a really good movie.
it's really
actually.
good. It's really good.
It's good?
It's on par with Up, Ratatouille, and all. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Watch it.
And if you're
Doctor.
talking about Japanese, I guess I'll go with Akira. I have to rewatch it again though.
Yeah.
Oh, 3. Okay, shit.
Give me one more. Akira, Soul, I'll watch.
So, shit. I don't know. Again, it will be another. Oh, Lion King. Yeah, Lion King.
Lion
Of
King
course.
is pretty common. Mine is also, yeah, Lion King, of course, number one. Number one, Lion King. Ratatouille. And I guess, I don't know, man. Ratatouille. Toy Story, the whole franchise of Toy Story. I think if Toy Story more because of the whole personal connection to it, because I've watched it so many times since I've been a kid. I watched obviously one released before we were born, and then 2, 3, 4, everything was when we were born, right? After 2000. So like I've watched the franchise when it was meant to be watched. So like I think that's why Toy Story connection is there.
I would say Up to begin with because it's beautiful. Like the first beginning only like is enough to make you cry, and it has dogs. So Up is the first pick. Second would be Kung Fu Panda Part 1, because yeah, huge memories associated with that. And I can obviously tell like my favorite ones, which are like Madagascar and all of that stuff. But I want to Inside Out, obviously. But I want to tell. This is also like a recommendation. Is if you have seen Grave of the Fireflies,
Yeah. Really good movie.
I would recommend Grave of the Fireflies. It's one of the most devastating movies I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah, these Asians, no, they'll like make animated anime, like all that. They'll make it devastating. Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Talking about anime again, Kill Bill. Oh. But we can keep going, we can keep finding connections. But yeah, thank you. I think that's the end of today's podcast. We've come to
Yes.
I don't have any other questions. If you guys have Ajay, Harshith, do you guys have any questions?
Not really. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us, bro.
Awesome.
We wanted to do this. I think we wanted like a movie podcast. So like this is the best. So yeah, we love talking about movies. You guys love watching, talking movies. Go ahead, whatever. I shall do the closing now.
Yeah, basically, yeah, thank you so much for your time. And I want to really apologize for my internet being the worst thing today. Like, it has been so unreliable that, yeah, worst. I'm sorry for that. But thank you, both of you, so much for your time. And, like, obviously, like, if there are, like, if there's a very dedicated viewer out there, watch this podcast come first and note down all the movies that we have mentioned, and please send them to us so that like we can keep a track of movies that we have mentioned and watch them. But yeah, thank you to the people who have stayed till now. Thank you for your time. Ajay Kumar's Filmophilia blog and Instagram is linked below. Check out Harshith's design page. Is the other one like your personal page or like a photography page? What do you call it?
It started as a photography page, but now it's
You don't have a personal Instagram, is it?
No, I don't have one.
He's a true hero.
Check out Obscure Tones and Obscure Edits. Everything is linked down below. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. And as we always say,
Bye.
You guys need to wave too.
Yeah, you guys need to wave till it stops going. Like,
Okay.